I would like to welcome everyone to the XRP Army News latest edition. It is an honor and a privilege to introduce everyone to Scott Pratt. Everyone knows who he is. That is following XRP and crypto. And again, it is truly an honor to be able to have a chance to speak with you today, Scott.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
And we're going to do things just a little bit different. What I'd like to do is kind of get sort of a deep dive into who Scott Pratt is and sort of your story, because everybody loves a good story. And I would like to hear what your journey into crypto, basically, how that all kind of unfolded. And I would kind of like to hear, how you stumbled into this and who you were at that time. And then kind of let us know sort of how you see things today. And then we can probably finish up then with what you see coming. And so I really just kind of want to have a conversation with you and have that kind of be the format and just see where that leads us. So Scott, you kind of know the format, and I would love to hear your crypto and XRP story.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically right from the beginning, like I said when we was off air, then I was asleep on Bitcoin, asleep on Ethereum, just getting on with my life like a typical sheep, typical cog in a machine, head down, going to the pub every weekend, all that kind of stuff. I've always had a little something inside me that I wanted to create. When I went to college after school to do Adobe and Photoshop stuff and all website designing and multimedia and all that kind of stuff. Told I wasn't smart enough, so ended up on site, head down, cog. Bitcoin comes out, it was nothing to me, just some new money. That Bitcoin thing, looking at the media, is just, it's nothing's coming from that. And then from, I'd say 2010 to 2015, I became a PT. I did a personal training course. And then I got into a guy called Greg Plitt on YouTube, started watching him. And I was doing my own YouTube, starting my own YouTube. I had no idea back then that YouTube was going to be as big as it was. I didn't know the term influencer, didn't know anything, no real plan to make money on it. It was just like, get on it and let people see me training. Sort of feel like I say, just creating something. So Greg Plitt died, ended up in a little bit of a bad place because I just felt like I had no mentor. The guy who made me do it, he made me step up and was kind of giving me the advice, and then he was gone. So we're just like, boom, back to being a cog. I can't remember what happened. And I don't think it was one thing, but from 2001 with the Twin Towers to the weapons of mass destruction and all the rest of it, and Madeleine McCann and all the rest of it, and Jimmy Savile and BBC and all the rest of it, and just stopped trusting the media. So when Kurt rang me up and said, look, you got to look at this XRP thing, it's cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum things, like, but just look at it, it's banks and this and that. Looked at it, took about 30 minutes to realize, like I said before, again off air, the pending payment. If you notice pending payments in your bank, you know that any bank as a business is going to use an asset that brings that time down to 4 seconds, as well as saving them up to 30%. You don't understand business or any form of making money on top of value if you don't get that. Banks are businesses.
And Scott, also freeing up all of the Noso Vostro account money too. Don't forget that.
So that sent me to the media then looking at XRP, and like I said again off air, we got the FUD right in your face. But then by that time I'm thinking, well, the media's lying about weapons of mass destruction. They're lying about all that other stuff. They're clearly not saying everything about this XRP. Where's XRP? And at this time, it's late 2017, early 2018, and it's that Bitcoin thing. Where's XRP? Why not mention XRP? Went on to Kurt's documentaries, what he delivered, and then the globalization documentary towards the back end of 2018. We released that at the start of last year, and we're like, they're still not mentioning IOV and ILP now. For like, how anyone can look at that and not be a little bit pulled in, I don't know. And it's the people that believe the media that walk away from it. Anyone else who doesn't, people who've stopped believing the media likely still own some crypto if they got into it at any point. No matter how high they could have bought $3, they're probably still holding a little bit, thinking, I know this is going somewhere, because of how secretive they're being about the internet of value. It just doesn't make sense. That's why I'm more interested in that than your remittance payments. What's 100 trillion a year or 155 trillion a year, whatever it is, compared to your quadrillions, what the total value of the globe, plus all the added value that's going to come from gaming, from movies. You mean to tell me, I'm not saying anyone's going to buy it, you mean to tell me I can go in my back garden now, film a squirrel over a week, do a documentary, put it online for free, don't need help off anyone, but then with a blockchain and internet of value, I could actually get ownership of that. If I learn to write the contract myself, I can do it myself. I might need to lean on someone, but I might be like, yo, what a documentary out there, agricultural squirrel documentary. Want it online, under a smart contract. It's Scott Pratt. I don't need Warner Brothers. I don't need Disney. I don't need Channel 4. I don't need BBC. I don't need anyone. I don't need YouTube. Now Cinnamon's there. Do you know what I mean? It's not become in the future. It's not going to be a matter of, let me get some content online, and hopefully, if I get enough attention and enough ads on it, I'm going to make a little bit of money off it. That's what the influencers are thinking now. In the future, it's like, no, just create anything, and whack a bit of value on it through smart contracts. And it's what's remittance compared to a world where you can whip up a new bit of value like that, and it's tracked, logged, official value. Not like a £20 note that you can burn and you can't prove you owned it. Right, real money's gone. And weird how the virus has started making people realize it's gone, in it.
I was just going to say, the virus now, paper money is going to have the virus on it. They're not going to have us being able to wrap your head around the fact that we are being moved into a cashless society. I think is another part of what people have got to come to grips with and understand the impact of that.
They have, and like I say, I think they're finally starting to realize a few things. Like, you'd had a conversation with a few people, like several people, not everyone, but certain people 6 months ago. So we're cashless before 2025. That's soon. That's them same people now. You're probably right. That's a massive change in 6 months in mentality of a hell of a lot of people. Probably are now, aren't we? I said the other day, I think it's one small step in everything. Not only to get people to lean towards cashless, to get the next generation to be scared of viruses and be able to be locked down like that, no riots, no yellow vests, no nothing. I think if you look at the supermarkets, if you realize an automated world, it's basically gone one-way systems around supermarkets and that, isn't it? Like one person in at a time, one way. That's almost a little futuristic in itself. You could almost take the people there, and if you had that app that like Amazon speak about, where whatever's in your basket, your phone knows you've got it, and when you take it out, you just pay for it on your way out. All seems like some crazy little ploy to move a tiny little bit closer to the kind of world certain people want. There's a hell of a lot of people that don't want to live in an automated world, in an autonomous world with self-driving cars and everything being tracked. It is coming, whether they want it or not. It just is. It is.
Yeah, I believe that too. And one thing that I'm really interested in, and on your video that really set me on fire, can you kind of let everybody know when you first ran across that Everest document, when, I don't know how you found that or where you found that, but how long did it take you to kind of read into that and have the light bulbs start going off in your head of, like, oh my goodness, I see how much this has been looking like it's all been planned out, all ready to go.
Yeah, there was a lot, you know, and I think Kurt found that. If I go in blockchain PDFs, go to Demore, because Demore as well on Twitter. He found a hell of a lot of documents for us at the time. I've got like progress report from Demore, the public distributed ledger, the Ripple Essential, faster payments task force final report, Hyperledger white paper. Yeah, so that's in it's the Everest one's in the group. So Kurt got onto it, but we had so much documentation. We was kind of already onto that. Kurt was well into it. He just knew, and I was just still like Ripple and all this, and trying to get my head around it a little bit at the time. That document, bam, minute I saw that and actually sat back and was like, hang on a minute. And it was just everyone on the other side. It was the Amazon and the everything. And the page at the top said enabling an internet of value 2020, 2025. I'm like, oh, yo, this is it. That's it. Visual. And it was the visualization that a lot of people need. I can learn when I'm reading, and I can get a certain way along, but I'm one of them people that I learn better when I get a visual. Even better when I constantly write down a visual and I'm constantly looking at it, talking about it, looking at it again, have someone explain it, which is why we went through all the Chris Larson videos, having him explain the Interledger videos, because if you tried reading through all that sender and connector stuff and tried understanding it about someone who knows what they're talking about it, it's almost ununderstandable for people who don't know. You can't get your head around it. It's just got Alice and Bob making payments, yeah, but like try to figure out how it actually works. It's nice to have someone else saying it at times. That Everest adoption timeline, it was just like boom, 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 boom. That's how it is. Deal with it. There's no other document, and this is the fight now. Don't care what people call me an XRP maxer. It's like I'm not. I'm an IOV maxer, if anything. I'm shilling internet of value, and show me anything anywhere else, any other asset other than XRP and Ripple as a company and everyone associated with Ripple and Hyperledger. Show me anywhere in them documents where it suggests anything other than RippleNet, ILP, and XRP.
And Scott, isn't it amazing that a little startup that came together in San Francisco in 2012? How in the world have they gotten all of the connections in all of the different businesses that they've gotten connected to, all of the different governmental positions? All of the. I mean, it's just I don't see any other company or coin in the crypto space that has been connected like this. I mean, I don't know if they were, DAI says that either the government or whoever found Ripple and decided to jump on board and push them forward, or whether David Schwartz and Chris Larson and Arthur were picked and commissioned to do this from the start. And I don't know which of those two it was either, but there's just no way that a simple little startup could have accomplished all of this without, some major help along the way.
I think it's hard because we don't know who Arthur Britto is. That's what be all and end. He could be Satoshi, that guy. We don't know. Without knowing who Arthur is, we've got to step back and be like, well, what's the next logical step of who got Ripple where they are? And it's David Schwartz, NSA. It just is. Just is. Maybe not with the banks. Maybe they had to go into the treasury and they had to have a letter and they're like, look, when you're driving around that little Model T there, mate, but we've got something called the GT40 here that might be a little bit faster. Do you know what I mean? It's legitimately like that. It's like you're going back to the 20s with the very first cars ever created that barely did 20 miles an hour down the street and took 5 days to get to the next town, barely faster than a horse. And you're just turning up with a car from the 50s and saying, yo, GT40, mate, 180 miles an hour, next town in 5 minutes. They're all like, what? That's why it's taking so long for me. It's these older bankers. Imagine a banker in 2012 when these new guys, like you're saying, some little startup from San Francisco, they're like, they just walk in the office like, yo, you see my penis? It's massive. I mean, like, that's legitimately, it's just, the bankers are going to be like, listen, boys, you know, you kind of pooing on me tech here. Kind of pooing on me, like, do you want to get out? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And they're like, well, got this guy here, David Schwartz, just stands up. Well, I'm ex-NSA, and I just white paper from 1988 and 1998 and part of the Bitcoin Gold white paper, and you know what I mean? And then it's just like, oh, all right, hang on a minute then. Right, yeah, okay, prove it. How can anyone in the right mind not imagine a banker saying that? There's no way white-haired bankers who were taught off other white-haired bankers that this is the way we do it and this is the way we're going to carry on doing it. They're not just going to go, yeah, go on then. Let's flip it. We're ready for 2015 then. No. And isn't it strange how the end of the ISO migration to multi-messaging and the new messaging system, the year of that completion, the end date of every central bank on the planet has to have migrated is 10 years of the Ripple ledger. Is just people believing in coincidences, or is that like just the perfect amount of time for the banker to say, right, you've done a decade, we're not one blip in a ledger, it's all just gone through every 4 seconds, and every node's done it, and the nodes have spread, and the validators have spread, and it's the most decentralized platform, and China are okay with it, and Russia use it, and then everyone's all right with this, and they're just like, well, we've got 300 partners, mate, 300 Hyperledger partners, 300 banking partners. Like, what? Again, it's a no-brainer, innit? It's when you start talking to stuff like this. If people don't accept that, like Ripple or don't like Ripple, if you don't accept the fact that they are the ones that have put the first foot forward in building the internet of value, they're the ones that put the protocol on the table, and the protocol's been picked up and chosen. It's as simple as that. You can like it or lump it. It's a done deal. I'm dying to speak to someone who was in the internet space and understand what IP actually meant for internet working. And to see how many people, we asked McAfee, like, did anyone really know how big it was going to get? And he was like, well, not really, no. But I'd like to speak to someone back in the day to see if they had any inkling how big the internet of data was going to get. Because we're looking at the same amount of time. It's been 20 years now for full-on maturity of the internet of data, and we're looking at 20 years for the internet of value as well. But right up to 2040, it's going to be an overnight thing up to 2030. That's just the start.
And so, Scott, right now, where we are right now today with the price, and I know everybody is all interested in the price and all of that, but how do you believe that they may, what do you think they're going to do now? One thing that I have heard is that they're going to go to the IMF, and I know that you've heard this too. They're going to go to the IMF. They're going to distribute XRP or some form of their SDR, and then set the value of that, and then either XRP will be that, the ESDR, or it will just be the bridge to that asset. But do you have any feeling of how you think the next step in the reset may go? And then I wanted to ask another question after you answer that one, but do you have any feeling for where you feel like, and when you have any idea how much longer they're going to hold on?
Right. I
admit this system they have is just not going to work.
I don't think Ripple does anything different now. They'll keep doing what they've already been doing because people are waking up to what's happening. I think the trust has already been instilled in the banks. The banks are already like, yeah, we're going to use this. We just need to iron out a load of regulation, legislation, and sort out the transition of our systems to it. And I think the IMF will be the ones to approach Ripple through their advisory board. They've got Ripple members on the advisory board, aren't we? I mean, isn't that where Chris Larson went? I just Googled it one sec. High-level advisory group meets in Singapore. That was March last year. Members, The members of the high-level advisory group are Chief blah, 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 Chris Larson, Executive Chairman of Ripple. So once this advisory board of the IMF meet towards the back end of this year, they're reviewing the SDR, I expect them to want to add XRP to it, and Chris Larson will then be the guy who's going to be the liaison to go and purchase some XRP off Ripple for the IMF. I don't think Ripple are going to go to the IMF like, yo, you want some XRP? Like, do you want to buy some XRP? That's not going to happen. Chris Larson's already there to just be like, well, we've got our asset. Once your basket can be tokenized, we'll add our asset. And what happens then, for anyone who's done a little bit of digging into the SDR basket and the reserve currencies, the dollar's been losing its hold on it for quite some time, not only since the emergence of the euro. So if we go 15, 20 years ago, there was no euro, and now it's got 20% of the basket. Do you know what I mean? The pound's got 8%. 5 years ago, there was no Chinese yuan in it, and now it's got over 5% of the basket. So at the end of this year, we could see XRP added. There's 0% of the basket now, and it just completely takes 5 or 10% of the reserves of USD. So USD comes, I think it's on about 66% at the moment, US dollar. That comes out at 56%. XRP go in and be 10% of it, just above the UK pounds, like 8.8%, and so on and so on. And then as XRP grows, the volume of XRP within the basket and then liquidity pools grows, they'll add other digital assets, while either taking the fiats out or replacing the fiats with CBDCs. But I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll just take the fiats out and have bridge assets within the basket, and each central bank will have its own CBDC system with an API to not only all the other exchange in the Ripple ledger, but to also the IMF SDR basket, which in the IMF SDR basket will be what is the stepping stone and the start of the UN credit, the one world currency, where there is only one actual currency left on the planet. And that's 60 years away, that. 60 cents, that's for the next generation that who don't care about dollars, pounds, and all that stuff. It's just value. Spend me fortnight. Think, why do we need pounds anymore, Grandad? Why do we need pounds anymore, Grandad? I can spend me fortnight skin. What's with the pounds? I go to America and I spend pounds and it gets flipped into dollars. What's the point in even having dollars? We might as well just have a one currency that's just a credit. That's coming, that. Okay, whether it's 10 decades or 2 decades, it's coming. It's always convenience, in it. This is what I keep getting back to now. Convenience always wins, which is why the chip in the hand is going to win in the end. And again, it could take 100 years, could take 20 years. But the next generation will always go for convenience. Don't want to type anymore, do they? Want voice. Up, Google, listening. You just want to say it. Lights on. It's like, shut up. Google's just opened up as well. Listening. But yeah, they want a word of voice. What happened after that generation? Want a world of thought process. Just think lights on. Imagine that. See, Google's activated because I said it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyone watching who's growing a brand, we're waiting for the Alexa skill that subscribes for people. When the Alexa skill comes out, if it's not out and you know how to make an Alexa skill, do me a favor and go make this Alexa skill. But make it so I can say, Alexa, open Love for Crypto on YouTube and subscribe. So anyone who plays this video now in front of an Alexa, if that skill's on that Alexa, it should legitimately have just subscribed for off their account. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of world we're going into. There's no app like the main apps of the future. They're going to end up augmented reality apps to voice machines. I'm waiting for the floating Google Assistant, me, that just floats next to you and follows you about. Just be like Google, no phone in your pocket, just be floating next to you. There's they have them in games called companions, and I said it to my mate the other day. And again, it's just perspective and what you've seen. So I said it to my mate. I was like, you have one of them things floating around soon, you know? And he's like, no, you won't. Nah, mate, that's just stupid. So I've got a video up of a snowboarder with the cameras that's about 20 meters off him over his shoulder and following him down a flaming mountain. I was like, you see that? Now shorten that to a meter, and there's your thing. Put Google Assistant in it, and there's your thing, mate. It's out already. It's just 20 meters away from the guy instead of 2. So you tell me it can't be done when it's already out? It's like the people who say the robots aren't coming. Robots aren't going to take a trip to Japan, mate. Robots aren't coming. They're working in cafes, hotels, hospitals, a lot in Japan. Robots. It's all a matter of perspective, and whether you're into Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, any of it, it's all got relevance within the Internet of Value. That's why I'm so interested in the Internet of Value. It's encasing everything. Your identity has got value within the Internet of Value. Every bit of data that Google have ever took off you can be stored on your own personal server soon, and you can charge them money to get it. What's my email? Oh, charge me. You want some cookies, chat. Do you know what I mean? You want to get some money for the information. I saw the video of David Schwartz once, and I struggled to find it again, but even he said, like, you could be walking past the shop ping your phone for data, buy the data off you, and then give you adverts through your cookies. He was extremely vague in the video, but what I think and what I've deduced he means is kids of the future getting up in the morning or any day, they decide they want a new pair of trainers. So they go into the personal ledger. They've got the personal ledger that someone or they've built on Hyperledger, or someone's built it for. This is what I keep saying. You either learn to do it yourself or you rely on someone else to do it. They go into the personal ledger. Like, I want a new pair of Nike trainers. I'm size 10. I prefer black. I'd like a new coat, weatherproof. It's almost winter. But I'd like a new game on the computer. I'm into Elder Scrolls. If you can see that, if you can get that on a deal anywhere. And start putting information into your server of stuff you'd like to acquire. So next thing, when you're walking down the street and you walk past a JD outlet or the node or anything, JD outlet's like, yo, can I get some info off his phone? Yo, can I buy some data, bro? Can I buy some data? Can I buy some data? And your phone's like, well, it's got some data on trainers and some sportswear, but it's going to cost you 50p. And shops like, yeah, go on then, 50p. Pings 50p, might be 5p, but you know what I mean. Pings the money to your phone, gets the data back, boom. You're not even 10, 20 paces past the shop, and your phone's like, yo, they've just got the night trainers you want there, you know, and a decent weatherproof coat on 20% off. That's the world he means. Now, again, someone's going to argue, will there really be a high street shop by then? But it doesn't matter. It's the fact that will be possible that should excite and interest people. It's beyond me how it doesn't.
And well, Scott, also, would you mind touching on what you see as the potential scale of the tokenization of the gaming world? I'm not really sure that everyone has really been able to grasp the portion of the internet of everything when they recognize how many of these kids are playing all of these games, and the economic potential of tokenizing the gaming industry is just staggering.
Yeah, it really is. It's quite ridiculous. Let me just get some numbers up here because it's. And let's bear in mind that these are numbers pre-Internet of Value, and there's a hell of a lot of stuff within the gaming industry that can become valuable, right? Mm-hmm. So, Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the games I like to play. It's either that or Elder Scrolls for me, 2 open world games. So, man, I've got cars in my garage, that are worth a lot of money on GTA. I've got a yacht that if you can't save the on-game money, costs like 6 million on-game money. It'll cost you about 30 quid to buy it, real game money. Like the yacht's got real value of 30 quid, like real world value. Got all sorts on it, but there's no way, like I say, for me to sell that to Sandra up the shop. I can't even sell the yacht to someone else within GTA. But through Internet of Value, Rockstar would be stupid not to add in-game exchanges. I'm surprised they haven't already got them. Elder Scrolls has. I've been making a wizard staff in the back garden. I went to make a walking staff the other day, and I stood there looking at it. And went online to look at staffs, and I saw a wizard staff for 180 quid online. So I ended up making one to see how valuable mine looks at the end of it. But I can go on game on Elder Scrolls, and I'm a woodcrafter. I can make staffs on Elder Scrolls and sell them on the exchange to get my character gold. Do people understand that in 2025 that can be a legitimate career for a kid? I'm not joking. Selling the staffs he makes, his character's that good, and he can make staffs that good. He puts a smart contract on each staff he makes. He makes 20 staffs a week, sells each staff at 50 quid. The guy's got a job on a game. What do you work as? I just play woodworker on Elder Scrolls, mate. Right. What? Oh, I'm a mechanic on Grand Theft Auto. Buy cars in it and fix them up and sell them. What? What? You're a mechanic on a game? What? I thought this. What?
Yeah.
So, Grand Theft Auto sold 95 million units worldwide. 95 million people own that game. Over 6 billion in global revenue. So fastest selling entertainment product ever, grossing 1 billion worldwide in just 3 days on release. And the top selling game of all time in the UK, generating over 240 million from more than 6 million. Now, I need people to understand this. Now, it's not going to happen with GTA 6. I'll be extremely surprised. But during the lifetime of GTA 6 or for GTA 7, we're going to see this flip. I'll just imagine for 1 minute, 1 billion worldwide in 3 days off nothing but sales. 95 million people. How long before them 95 million people put a brand new game in that all of a sudden has a brand new marketplace that's linked to ILP, and everything they get from a car to a bike to a jacket to a gun is got real world value? You're talking the generic guns of the game are going to be worth like 5p. But a noob's going to buy you. A new person on the game is going to be like, oh, you got an Uzi? Has anyone got an Uzi for the $5? I've got my spends off my mum and I need a gun. I'm getting murked. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's going to be real world value exchanges within games, and there's going to become real world value careers within games. Not just playing the games in the tournaments like they're all doing now, smashing the World Cups and that. Like, don't even get me started on esports. We're not even got started on esports yet. This is just gaming.
Scott, they're going to be some pretty well-paid mechanics, huh?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, what? You could be a stable master in Elder Scrolls. It's like no one knows where it's going to go. But if anyone needs to, if anyone, I mean, some of the people in this space will be like, yeah, I suppose so, but 2030 that, 2035 that, 2040 that, everyone's going to have their own time range where that can happen. But the fact of the matter is, go and watch Ready Player One. And that's it. That's it. That's the future of Ready Player. That is it. He's within that. That is an oasis of games where, say, someone creates a decentralized network of games where Rockstar has its own planet, Grand Theft Auto world, GTA world within the decentralized exchange. Now, this is where it comes to values completely off the table here. Now we're like, right, so a Rockstar really going to talk to everyone else and give an API for a game? we don't just send value from game to game. I can actually exit one game through a back door and be in another game like they do in Ready Player. So every game's in every game. You've got these gaming worlds. Do you know what I mean? It's again, there's going to be a hell of a lot of smarter people than me who are actually building all this stuff. I just can see what the next generation's going to want.
Yep.
I saw a generation with a stick and a button. Boom, boom, boom. And then I saw a generation with a pad and a lead. And then the lead was a plug-in lead. Xbox users can take your batteries elsewhere. We don't play that. We have. But the lead's gone. Infrared came out. We've gone from no search to search. You had to go library for information, and now you've just got to search online, and now you don't even have to type it anymore. You can just say it to you. Ask your pocket what time it is, and it's going to tell you. Okay, Google, what time is it?
6:46.
Did you hear that?
I did. Thank you, Siri.
You can ask your pocket what time it is. Why am I even wearing that? Like, honestly, is there even any point? the world we're moving into is much more than just value exchange. But the thing is, within the space at the moment, from where we are now to getting there, people are too fixated on remittance and the legislation and the regulation because of the FUD, because it allows people to say, well, it's not regulated yet. They've not come out and actually said it yet, they'll have there. No, not that it doesn't have to be in loads of documents. It's like, can you imagine the FBI had a load of documents and files on a mass murderer and he was chasing him down, and everyone's like, he's not really a murderer though, is there? It's like, he's all over the documents with evidence, bro. What you on about? Yeah, but until they get him, until they actually catch him, right? No. Evidence on the documents, it's that simple. Again, like I said at the beginning, someone show me where there's another bridge asset other than XLM that can legitimately compete with XRP. The reason I say other than XLM is because it might be as fast, but again, show me the information that it can be, that it can have a next generation exchange on it that was talked about the other day, a next generation trading hub that's going to be able to trade anything of value. It's moving Bitcoin. I'm really interested in how it moves Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that's a crypto correspondent banking thing happening there with a Bitcoin IOU. You know, they're throwing XRP over the world and like, yeah, we owe you Bitcoin, but there's some XRP, so you got your value now. Do you know what I mean? And then they'll swap the Bitcoin in the background, taking 36 hours or whatever it takes these days. But it's just all about the internet of value in it. And until we get that
speed and convenience and the internet of value.
I
agree.
I'm interested in what I don't think any announcement is going to cause another bull run unless it's someone like Trump. Unless Trump comes out like they're building an internet of value for us. We've almost achieved a level playing field, and now I'm being told we're even building an internet of value. We'll tell you more soon. When's that chat coming out? Do you know what I mean? That's probably summer 2021.
Well, Scott, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, have you looked into any of the QAnon stuff? Are you a believer? Do you believe that we've got some kind of conspiracy that is moving behind the scenes to be able to try to get us to what? To the level playing field, to a one world currency, to an economic reset? And also, do you see where the economic system is now, and being $1.2 quadrillion in derivative debt? How much longer can they try to prop this thing up? I mean, the hole that they dug is just, I have a college degree, but it's not in economics, and it's not from Harvard. I got a communications degree from a place called Appalachian State University. And even I can look at what this economic system is set up with right now and see that there's no way that they are going to be able to dig themselves out of this hole that they dug. It's too deep. I cannot even hardly wrap my mind around $1.2 quadrillion worth of derivative debt. I mean, the commissions that these people made selling that stuff is staggering. But how do you have any idea how, you know, if the Q, are you a Q believer? Do you think that that's legitimate? And what's their end goal to get us to the economic reset and finishing off leveling the playing field?
Yeah, and I believe something's happening. There's clearly good people in the background trying to make stuff happen. I believe it's been happening for a long time, I think there's a few. We all know about the paedophilia and that within Hollywood and stuff now. And the shocking thing is, right, that's come out of the recent years, they tried painting it as sleazy men at first. It's like when the other year it was like, oh, CIA can spy on you, you know. CIA can spy on you. And I'm like, yeah. They're a spy agency, bro. It's like saying a bank owns money, mate. Like, you're on about CIA can spy on us. And then it comes out that, oh, people are actually having to sleep with directors to get the job. No. They're choosing to. She chose to sleep with the director to get the job. He gave her a choice. Stay in a room and let's get a little bit jiggy. I'll give it a job. I'll go home, love. No brass to me. That's a little bit perverted in some people's perspective. Gonna be. But let's not act like we didn't know people got to the top through sex and blowjobs and all the rest of it. Let's not act like we didn't know that. Whether it was in an office block or the White House, let's not act like it was no. The thing is, now all of a sudden it went boom, and it wasn't about perversion. It was about rapes, assaults, molesting, and then murder and eating kids and drinking blood and like what? And Jimmy Savile with kids, with dead people. And you're like, where have we gone here? Like grab them by the pussy ain't a bad remark anymore, is it? All that stuff. Jesus, I bet they wish Epstein had only grabbed a bit of pussy. And again, it's bad. We have to attack it like this at the moment, because we can't just sit here crying in tears for all the little girls and all the little boys that have been and gone. We have to do that later when they're down. We have to do everything we can to spread a little bit of awareness. We have to hope Q's right. We have to hope Trump's one of them for me. He is a very, very smart man. He's not socially as witty on a level that some people might want.
Now
he is on a level others might want.
Scott, I love the way that you put that. He's not witty.
But the thing is, he's known about this for a while.
Yeah.
And I think he's been warning them for a while. All the way from the 80s. I'll run for president, me. I'll run for president, me. I'll do it. Through the 80s and 90s. He kept saying it every few years, didn't he? No one listened. I was just laughing at him. When Trump president. When Trump president, he's never going to be true. 25 years later, he's like, what? Now I'm going to make some changes.
Yep.
Now, I feel like you've got two kinds of people in the world, and no one's better than the other with how they react. But you've got the kind of person that Trump is, who's took it head on. And God rest his soul, you've got people like Robin Williams who couldn't handle it anymore. Couldn't handle knowing what he knew anymore. Why does a man like that kill himself? You want the answer to why does a man like that kill himself? He knew too much and didn't see a way out of it. Look at Jim Carrey. Look at Mel Gibson. They're scared to say anything. And when they do, they start getting made to look crazy. It's what people grow a beard, say the wrong thing, and they can be made to look crazy like that. It's quite, it's mad. It's mad. You could get a picture of me with this little facial pubic hair that I grow every week or two. You could get me with that, and this is just me where I've just like not been bothered. It's even here, it's on the side. I could do it in 2 minutes. I just can't be bothered because I don't mind having that on my face. But someone could take a picture of me like that with not that much sleep. I've got the red marks in my eyes from my goggles on all day in work, and compare this picture now to a picture of me last year with a nice brown tan and all that, and be like, Scott Pratt's lost it. Scott Pratt's lost it. You know what I mean? But, you know, that'd only have to be a little bit longer, and it'd be like, Scott Pratt's lost it. So I feel like Mel Gibson, Donald Trump, the people who took Savile down, Jill Dando, God bless her soul, she got shot in the head, man. She was going to bring them down and got shot in the head. Diana was sick of it, trying to pull herself away, trying to get other people involved. I don't know how many people know this, but when Charles and Diana's marriage was getting a little rocky, they pulled Jimmy Savile in as a little advisor for the relationship. She went mad, stormed out, and that was the beginning of the end for not only Jimmy Savile, but for their marriage and her life, sadly. I honestly believe now that it's turning round. I believe there's more good people coming round to it. I believe the QAnon stuff's come from nowhere. I mean, if there was anything I had to take from that QAnon that I actually wished was real, and it's weird, it's not even American, but it was the JFK son stuff. Can you imagine he's still alive? Like, JFK's son still being alive, it'd be, mate, that would be like my head blown. But I don't know what to believe. I don't know who's pulling the strings. Is Trump good, Trump bad? Who's eating babies, who's not? The one thing I do believe is some of these people believe they're in contact with demons and entities. We can go as deep as the Mayan calendar, saying 2012 was the end of an evil era and there was going to be a new era of light. You've got people who talk about Satan worship, they worship Lucifer and all that, and these same people turn around and say God don't exist. I'm sorry, you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to be Islam, you call it God, the absolute, whatever. But if you're going to believe in this kind of evil, this kind of demonic energy, it doesn't exist without the good one. The bad angels, the fallen, you don't get a fallen angel without having an angel. You don't. And again, I call them interdimensional beings. Someone else is going to call them an angel. A Christian will call them an angel. To me, they're an interdimensional beings. What they are in the comics. It's what the comics has taught me them to be. Interdimensional beings and entities. The one at the very top, who's the white. So the white of the page is the source. There's the universe is the picture you see. And the white, the dark matter, and that's the absolute. That's God in a comic. The white. There's even comics where they come out of the comic and get stuck in the white, and they're pulled into Jack Kirby's office as he's writing the comic, and they're like, "Yo, bro, are you my God? Are you God?" And he's like, "I'm just a creator." Gives him a little wink and the back in the book. You know what I mean? Little quick flat eyes, like. But I feel little wake-ups like that have been in comics for a hell of a long time, since the 50s. Now, can you tell me actually when Stanley Kubrick's 2001 was come out? Was it 64? I don't know why my head's just told me 64.
I think it was in the 64. And while you're looking it up, Scott, what is that symbol at Epstein's Island, where that little building with the gold dome on it? What there was some freaky stuff going on there, man.
Yeah, it's a bit 68. So A Space Odyssey is the first one I've seen where they try and wake people up with the black cube and the monkeys touching the black cube and the monkeys gaining intelligent consciousness. True, what we perceive as intelligent consciousness, not just what a plant's got. But it's all symbolism in it, and that's what Q says. Symbolism will be the downfall. That Epstein Island. Have you seen it compared to Ellen's?
Actually, I haven't. Scott, I have not really looked into it all that much. But that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because I figured that you had. But it is fascinating.
Ellen's set. You put Epstein Island and Ellen, and it offers you the first search and Ellen's set. Go on that, and you will see the temple on his island and her set done up like his island. It's quite unbelievable. Have you seen Naomi Campbell's house?
No.
In the Caribbean, wherever it is. It's the shape of a third eye, the pineal gland.
Really?
Like Egyptian, like the old Egyptian symbol of it. But now, again, to everyone else, it's all just mad conspiracy, innit? But it's got some sort of eagle. It's eagles on top of that, and then looks like could even be some sort of Poseidon statue at the front of his temple. But it's like I said, I think that's where they took Madeleine McCann myself. I think she went straight from Portugal to Little St. James's Island, mate. I don't even think they look back. I think
well, Scott, I think it's fascinating that we began with the reptilian brain, then we moved into the cerebral cortex. Now we've got this frontal lobe, and as the evolution of consciousness is moving along, we only wanted to survive with the reptilian brain. Then we got planes, trains, and automobiles with the cerebral cortex, and now look what's happening with our world and our consciousness and our technology as we begin to have this third part here, this frontal lobe. I mean, I personally, just for me, I'm very hopeful and feel very good about the direction that mankind is moving into, and I'm very hopeful about the changes, and I'm not disturbed with the changes that come along in the technology and the way that we all move forward. I've been studying the way that paradigms shift for the last 35 years, and I've never seen anything like what's going on right now. I mean, it is
No.
the most fascinating time to be alive and I know that we've got the beer cold giving us a hard time right now, and I know a lot of people are going to struggle through part of this, but it's just the evolution of the way that the species is moving forward into what we're moving into next. We're in the fourth revolution, the digital revolution. And it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. And even if it isn't, then we're all going to die anyway. So why worry about it?
My take on it is the absolute on the other side in the highest dimension. I think the only thing it can experience on that other side is curiosity. Are you a Star Trek fan at all?
Yes.
Next Generation?
Yeah.
The Q?
Not as much, but fill me in.
Remember, right, so the Q are an interdimensional species who come into our realm within Star Trek to test us and watch us, observe us and stuff like that because they're interested in us. I think we are a kind of a Q being, and I think the Absolute was the original Q, just curious, so split himself, and you had the original angels, the original separation of the Absolute, but still nothing but curiosity. You're just balls of energy. There's no feeling, there's no nerves, there's no this, there's no emotion, there's no love, there's no hate, there's no jealousy. It's just curious, just what, like, all you've got curious questions. I believe that would be why we'd make this kind of realm. There's the only thing, it's a journey, it's not just a test, not an experience, it's a journey because we couldn't experience what we can experience here on the other side. It's why we forget who we are while we're here. I believe in the samsara cycle a lot more these days. It's actually a cycle of life, and you have to prove yourself to get back to the heavenly realm, get back to where the Absolute resides. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I think it's fact and all that, but I believe if we imagine on the other side, there's a collective consciousness of beings and entities and presence and awareness, and it can only come here for finite journeys. What would it do if it wanted to come here at will or for infinity, or as long as it lasts? What would it do? It would instill a code of evolution to ascend to a being that could sustain that, would it not? Now, if we look at a collective consciousness on the other side, it would look extremely similar to a decentralized network of nodes. Now, if we end up with artificial bodies, copied conscious in the body, connected to a blockchain of decentralized nodes, we have made in the physical what we are in the non-physical. Then all we need is a way to go back and forth at will, and we can remember who we was here and who we are there. Maybe that's our end game. Maybe that's our nest. What did you? I'm going to do, I mean, after my tea, I'm going for my tea shortly, but I'm going to do a deep talk on love for media. And it's about why are we here? Ants build ant nests and chill. A squirrel builds a squirrel nest and chills with its nuts. A dog give it a kennel, it's happy. Bees build a hive, buzzing. What are we doing? Where's the human nest? When we're going to have finished it? Where is it? Why are we not building a nest like every other animal on the planet? Why have we got this strive to build more? Has it the control? Is the evil entities that the Mayans say have been in contact with us for 5,000 years and they've ended up in control of us? Is it alien reptiles? What is it? Something that's controlled us, strayed us off a spiritual path. And I believe the level playing field and all this chip in your hand and all that, I can say chip in hand and we're going to pay for stuff. And then someone can say, but the Bible says if you get that in your hand, it's the mark of the beast. And then I can say, well, that can be the devil making you not get it. What if the devil wrote the Bible? I'm being deadly serious, because there's a hell of a lot of chop that other guy's head off in it. There's a hell of a lot of killing and stringing up. Crucifixion don't seem very peaceful, does it? Don't seem very loving and forgiving, that. And I don't like the fact that a being, an absolute being on the other side, it's supposed to be an absolute being of love and forgiveness, creates a realm of eternal burning for these children.
Yeah.
No. They go in the corner for timeout, mate. You don't burn them for eternity.
I vote for a little timeout instead of eternal damnation.
It's karma. So you can go to hell, but if you look at the samsara cycle, if you descend to hell, once your bad karma's burnt off, you reascend back up. Do you know what I mean? That makes a lot more sense than daddy's mad at you, go and burn in the garden for the rest of your life. Forever. Like, yeah, for the rest of eternity is a long time. Hey, like, but yeah, it interests me where we're going with all this technology. And the way I see it is, never forget, if you bring in the mark of the beast, you bring in any of it, you bring in evil, you've always got to have an open mind. He could have wrote that book. He could have influenced the people who wrote that book. The absolute might be wanting us to get the chips, might be wanting us to become bionic and cybernetic. We don't know. As long as the majority of the planet are happy, I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. Not bank balances, not how fast your car goes, not how much your wardrobe's worth, how happy are you, how big's your smile in the morning. It's all that really matters. It's all that should matter. And it really is.
And see, Scott, it's one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you so much, because you're 35 and I'm 58. You're English, I'm American, right? But what we have in common together, my friend, is that I've come to the exact same conclusion as you. My journey is, and I mentioned this to you off air, and I don't mind being completely open and transparent about who I am and where I'm coming from and where I feel like I'm going, just as you did yesterday on your live stream. I'm a recovering alcoholic. And by the grace of God, my higher power that I choose to call God, May 22nd, I will have been sober for 36 years. And there aren't that many. There aren't that many.
Like that term, me.
Well,
recovering alcoholic. Why do you call yourself that? Is that what you feel like?
Yes.
You feel like you're still recovering?
Yes. And basically the way that I see it, Scott, is that my body, if I drink alcohol, my body produces an enzyme called acetate that a non-alcoholic doesn't. So it's like being a diabetic. If I eat sugar and I'm a diabetic, my body is going to react to that differently. All right. And so if I drink alcohol, my body actually breaks it down differently biologically than a non-alcoholic does. And then you add another mental part of it, that I have the obsession to drink because I think it's going to solve my hurt. And it does. It anesthetizes me and makes me feel numb, so I don't feel that psychic pain. And then spiritually, I believe that I was looking for a connection with God, a higher power or whatever. But where I have gotten to in my life, Scott, and the reason that I brought it up, I'm a little bit of a different kind of a guy. I sleep under a copper pyramid. I wear a Sri Yantra, if anyone knows what that is. I carry a little crystal around with me. I'm kind of an out there kind of.
I'm going there, myself. I'm getting all that kind of stuff myself. I love it, mate.
Right. So I'm kind of out there, bro. And
Do you know what? I
my,
will say this. Like we're saying, I don't like that phrase. I need to say it.
that's okay.
You're not an alcoholic to me.
That's okay.
Not had a drink in over 3 decades. How can you be an alcoholic?
I
Alcoholics drink every day. And I
right.
don't like the term. Do you know Russell Brand?
Yes.
What's Russell Brand to you?
An actor, a good one, a funny man.
He's a crackhead. He's a recovering crackhead.
I think he's
No. There's no recovered crackhead. Recovering. If you're a recovering alcoholic with 35 years of not having a beer, he's not recovered crackhead, mate. No chance. He was doing it a decade ago in jabbing with Amy Winehouse. He's one of the people that helped kill her.
Right.
So let's not sugarcoat Russell Brand here as if he's a saint and other people like that. This is what gets. I'm passionate about this because I've seen George Best, seen Paul Gascoigne. Everyone's still labelled an alcoholic. An alcoholic drinks every day. An alcoholic who's drunken every day is a recovering alcoholic for so many years. But I'm sorry, after so many years of not a drink, you're not. I could be called a pothead. Some people would call me a pothead. I'll have a doob after me tea. But if I go 10 years without a spliff, I'm no longer a pothead. I'm not recovering pothead. I'm not like. I was asked if it interests me the fact that you still say you're recovering.
No. Actually, I misspoke when I introduce myself at my meetings. I actually say my name is Scott and I am a awesome recovered alcoholic.
Nice.
Because in the AA Big Book it says recovered, and the problem that I had was removed almost 36 years ago. So I used the recovered with the D word just so you and I see that together. And I agree, I'm not recovering, I'm over it. But if I pick it up again,
it doesn't mean you can't relapse and you're back on it. Where if you do, do you know what I mean? Like.
I pick it up again, the allergy is still there, and I'm going to set it off again all over again. So my body is different than non-alcoholic. So it's just like if I go run and jump in a patch of poison ivy, if I'm allergic to it, as long as I don't go jump in the patch of poison ivy, I'm good. So as long as I don't put the drugs and the alcohol in my system, I'm good. So, but the reason that I brought that up, and I appreciate that you helped clarify that because I do use recovered with a D. But the reason that I mentioned that is that as I've gotten into the meditation and gotten down the spiritual path through the 12 steps, what I have come to is the single most important thing, Scott, and I think you'll agree with this, is be happy now.
Yeah.
Be happy right now. And if you think when XRP moons and you make 5, 6, 7, 8 million, whatever it is you've got on your bag and it moons, if you think that the fact that you have more money is going to make you any happier than you are right now, you've lost your fucking mind.
Yeah.
If you can tell, I feel passionate about that.
Yeah, it is.
Be happy with whatever it is you've got. And if you have more money, then you can go help other people more. Good for you. But if you think that a bigger car or a bigger whatever is going to make you happier, you're missing the whole point, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But it's all about perspective mostly. Just perspective. Someone's always got it worse. Someone's always got it better. It's just about trying to appreciate the moment, finding a bit of gratitude, and just getting on with it, being happy. Yeah. But I'll have to wind this down and go and get my tea in a minute.
Me too.
But, it's been good. This for real. I've enjoyed it, mate. I really have.
Hey, I wrote you yesterday, and I told you we were going to have an epic talk because I knew we were going to be able to get into some other stuff besides just XRP and crypto and all of that, but we were going to be able to make a connection with each other and share with other people more of who Scott really is. And that's one of the purposes. And one last thing that I did, a shameless plug. I created our website, and I don't even know if you've seen it, but it's called XRP Army News. And what I did is I created it for selfish reasons. I've been looking for all of the crypto XRP info from the influencers that I admire. You, Brad Kimes, Cryptopolis, DAI, Kevin Cage, Jungle Inc. If I leave anybody out, I apologize. But I wanted to be able to find all of my favorite influencers easier. So I put together my partner and I put together a website called XRP Army News. And on that website, we have the links to my favorite influencers so I can have it all in one convenient place. We also have on there a free progressive web app. And in case no one knows what that is, it is an easier app than a native app, which you have to use with Google and Apple. You can download it. It doesn't take up any space on your phone. And you can also look at it on your computer and a tablet or anything else. So I just wanted to put that shameless plug out.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. It looks a good size. Just got it up there. It looks all right, to be honest.
Well, and again, I put it up there, you know, just because I wanted to be able to find, Scott, an easier centralized place for me to be able to find my XRP news from all of my favorite influencers.
Well, that's what creators say. Movie makers, authors, don't matter what you are. If you're a creator, if you might be a creator. Just people out there are creators without realizing it. There's people out there looking for a book, can't find it. It's up to them to write it. Looking for the movie, it's not out there. No one's made that movie. Or it's a movie about this, that, and that. Does anyone know then? No, it's your job to make it. It's in your head. So I mean, you wanted a website where you could get us all together and couldn't find it. So you built it. Can't fault that. Love that kind of stuff.
And so last, Scott, what I would like to do is hopefully invite you at some point to come back and speak with me again, because when we moon at some point, I'd like to be able to
we'll
you in person, because I consider you to be a friend now. And I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate everything that you have done, because you have helped me. I would not have the understanding of XRP and crypto and all of that kind of stuff had you not done what you've done. And I wanted to thank you for the gift that you've given to me.
Well, it means a lot. That it's been a pleasure. I enjoy it. I'm not going to stop doing it, and I've got hopefully get a lot more content out in the future when I no longer have to go to work on sites. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely come on the channel again in the future, whether later in the year, towards the back end of a bull run or what. I might wait till Trump says ILP and then jump on another chat. See what happens with QAnon. It doesn't need to be a crypto chat, really. But yeah, definitely do it again. I'm going to go and put some tea on, I think. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed myself. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Scott. And you take care, and I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, wishing health and happiness to you, your family, and your community. Stay safe, guys.
We're both going to end together, right? Live long and hodl.
See you later.
Take care. Bless you, my friend.
Bye.
Bye.